Assalamu alaikum and good day everyone. So we are going to continue with the properties of cross product and how to find the angle between vector by applying the cross product. So these are the properties of cross product. So we are going to discuss these properties. U cross V is equals to 0 if and only if U and V are parallel to each other. Okay, so in my previous video when we discussed on the properties of dot product, okay, the dot product between two vectors is equals to 0 when that vectors are perpendicular or orthogonal. Okay, so for this one here, when two vectors are parallel, then the cross product is equals to 0. So let's try to solve this example here. Okay, so you are given two vector, which is vector P and vector R. Okay, so vector P is equals to 1 and alpha, and vector R is equals to 4, 5. So in this problem, we are dealing with 2D vectors, I and J only. Okay, so the question asks you to find the value of the constant alpha given that P and R are parallel. Okay, so given to you P and R are parallel. So you know that the cross product between P and R is equals to 0. Okay, so the cross product between P and R is equals to 0. So in this case, the vector P and R, P cross R is equals to, so 1 alpha, 4, 5. Okay, so since this is two, you only have two component, which is R and J only, so you will have 5 minus 4 alpha is equals to 0. So 4 alpha is equals to 5. So implies that your alpha is equals to 5 over 4. Okay. So for the second one, B, find the value of the constant B given that Q and R are perpendicular. So you can refer to my previous video on how to solve this one. Okay, in order to find the value of beta when we have two vectors which are perpendicular to each other. So in this case, we know that Q dot R is equals to 0. So try on your own for this one and try to get this answer. Okay. Okay, so the next one is angle between vector. So like I said in my previous video, actually we have two ways on finding the angle between vectors. So it's either by applying the dot product, then you have to use cos, or by applying the cross product, then you have to use sine. Okay, so it depends on the problems given to you. Okay, so if the question is very straightforward, you are given two vector, find the angle, so it's up to you. Either you want to use the dot product, same like the previous video, or you want to apply the cross product. Okay, as for me, I prefer the dot product. Is much more easier compared to the cross product, so I might use the first in the previous video on how to find the angle between vector. Okay, so now let's try to solve this one by applying the cross product. Okay, so you are given two vector U and V. So what you need is you have to find A cross B, so you have to find U cross V. You also have to find the magnitude of U and also magnitude of V. So first what you need is u cross v. So this one is equals to, so u is equals to 2, negative 1, 1. V is equals to 1, negative 2, negative 2. Okay. Please remember when you write u cross v, so up here must be the vector u, down here must be vector v. Okay, so this one you have to write according to what you write here. Okay, so how to solve this one? So for the first component, okay, for the first component, we will delete the first column, so we are going to find for this one. Okay, so you will have 2 plus 1i minus, so for the second component, for the second value here, we will delete the second column, so you will have negative 4 minus 1. And the last one here plus, so we will delete the third column here, so you will have negative 2 minus minus plus 1. Okay, so this one is equals to, so 3i plus 5j minus k. So it's either you write in this form or you can write in this form, 3, 5, negative 1. Okay, so the next one is, as you can see here, we need to find the magnitude of A cross B. Okay, so the magnitude of A cross B, so in this case the magnitude of U cross V is equals to, so square root of 3 squared, which is equals to 9. So 9 plus 25 plus 1, which is equals to square root 35. So how I get this 9? So 3 squared plus 5 squared plus negative 1, the whole thing squared, will give you this answers. Okay, 35. Okay, so the next one, you need to find the magnitude of u. So the magnitude of u is equals to, so square root of 2 squared plus negative 1 squared plus 1 squared, which is equals to 456 square root of 6. Okay, and the next one, you need to get the magnitude of v, which is equals to, so what is your vector v here? 1, negative 1, negative 2. So the magnitude of v is equals to, so square root of 1 squared plus negative 1 squared plus negative 2 squared, which is also equals to square root of 6. Okay, so now we already find this one, and also this one, and also this one. So you can apply this formula for you to find the value of theta. Okay, so therefore your theta is equals to sine inverse the magnitude of u cross v over magnitude u multiplied by magnitude v, which is equals to sine inverse, so the magnitude of u cross v is equals to square root 35 over square root 6 multiplied by square root 6. Okay, so solve this one will give you your theta is equals to 80.41 degree. Okay, if you take a look at this one here, okay, as compare to the previous video when we are try to find the angle by using the dot product. We just have to find A dot B here, isn't it, in my previous video. But here you have to get the magnitude. Why? Because the cross product between vector will give you a vector. So that's why we need to find the magnitude so that we will have a scalar here. Okay, so that's why if you are using this formula, then you need to find the magnitude of the cross product. Okay, so take a look at the second example here. So you are given two vectors, which is u and v. So find the positive value of x. Okay, you were asked to find the positive value of x. Okay, if so given to you theta is equals to 86.39 and the magnitude of u cross v is equals to this value. So when you take a look at this problem here, you don't have any choice. You need to apply this formula. Why? Because the given info to you is the cross product, not the dot product. If the given information is u dot v, so you can use the formula in my previous video just now. Okay, but since this one here, the given information is that the magnitude of u cross v is equals to this value. Therefore, you have to apply this formula. Okay, you have to apply this formula. So basically, what we need is we want to find the value of the unknown here, x. Okay, so we have to get the magnitude of u and also the magnitude of v, since the magnitude of u cross v is given to you. Okay, so you just have to find another two. Okay, so we are going to find the magnitude of u, which is equals to, so square root of x squared plus 5 the whole thing squared plus negative 1 the whole thing squared, which is equals to, so square root of x squared plus 26. Okay, so the next one is to get the magnitude of the vector v. So what is the vector v here? 6, -2, 5. Okay, so the magnitude of v is equals to, so square root of 6 squared plus -2 squared plus 5 squared. So this one will give you, so 36 plus 4 plus 25, which is equals to square root of 65. Okay, so given to you, so by applying the formula here, if we rearrange from this one here, you actually have sine theta is equals to A cross B over the magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B. And you know that your theta is equals to 86.39. So sine 86.39 is equals to, so the magnitude of A cross B. So in this case is U cross V, which is equals to square root 2266 over the magnitude of U, which is equals to square root x squared plus 26 multiplied by square root 65. Okay, so sine 86.39 will give you 0.9980. 0.9980. Okay, so since we are going to find the value of x, okay, so we have to move this one to the left hand side here. So multiply by square root x squared plus 26, which is equals to, so square root 2266 over square root 65. Okay, so again here we are going to find the value of x, so we have to get rid of this square root. So how to get rid of this square root? By square both sides. Okay, by squaring both sides. So what happened to this one here? So this one squared, this one squared. Okay, so 0.9980, the whole thing squared, will give you 0.9960. So multiply by x squared plus 26 is equals to, so what happened on the right hand side, so you will end up with 2266 over 65, because we already can cancel out this one, isn't it? Okay, now we want to find the value of x squared. So this one is multiply. So if we bring this one to this side, so the whole thing here need to divide by 0.9960. Okay, so 2266 over 65 divide by 0.9960 will give you 35. So you will have x squared plus 26 is equals to, so 2266 over 65 divide by 0.9960. So this one is equals to 35. So can you find the value of x? Yes. So since this one is plus, so when you bring to this side, you will give you minus. This one is multiply, so that's why when we bring to the right hand side, then you will have divide here. Okay, so therefore x squared is equals to, so 35 minus 26, which is equals to 9. So x is equals to plus minus 3. Okay, but the question asks you to get the positive value of x. So therefore your answer should be x is equals to 3. So this one should be your last answer, not this one. Okay, because when you have square root here, you will have the plus minus sign, isn't it? So you have to take the positive value, since the question asks you to get the positive value of x. Okay, so that's all for this video. I shall see you in my next video. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.